Subscribe to Bookworm
and press the bell icon
to watch various interesting educational videos.
Hello friends, welcome back to our channel Bookworm. First of all, I like to thank each and everyone to give us support, and please do support in near future and watch all our videos. Thank you so much. Today I will talk about metals and non-metals, which is very important and simple topic, and I will keep this very simple so that you can clearly understand. And please do watch this video till the end to know about metals and non-metals and some very important questions which usually comes in your examination. So let's start. So friends, have you ever seen a periodic table in a chemistry lab with the colorful charts with some absurd alphabets written all over? I think you might have seen that. In that, if you clearly look, you will find that one section do have a metals and one section do have a non-metals, which is clearly shown in the figure. And today's topic is metals and non-metals. And now I will discuss the physical properties of metals. Do you know what is physical properties? It is the property which you can conclude by physically looking at something. When we physically look at the metals, there are certain properties. So let's see one by one. First property is metals are hard. Metals are hard, which is very difficult for us to mold in different shapes. But there is one exception, except sodium and potassium. Sodium, the symbol is Na, and potassium, the symbol is K. And you can see their position in the periodic table, which is already shown in the previous part of the video. Sodium and potassium, they are soft metals, so they cannot be molded into different shapes. Next point is all metals are solid, but there is also an exception, except mercury. The symbol is Hg. Mercury is the only metal which is in this liquid form. The presence of mercury you can see in the thermometer. Next point is metals are ductile. Metals are ductile means you can make wire with the help of metals. Example is aluminium and copper wires. Next point is metals are malleable. What does it mean? This means metals can be beaten into sheets. Just for example, if you take a small iron nail or an aluminium wire, and if you beat both with hammer harder without hurting yourself, then you will notice that it will change into sheets, one plain sheets. You must be familiar with the silver foil used for decorating sweets and aluminium foil for wrapping foods. So this is the property of the metals, that is malleability. Next point is metals are lustrous. This means metals do have shine. You can see any metals, it will shine, so this has a lustrous properties. Next point is metals have sonorous property. This means if you heat a metal harder, if you heat a metal, it will produce a ringing sound, which is said to be sonorous. Next point is all metals have good conductor of heat and electricity. All metals are good conductor of heat and electricity. That means, for example, if you perform one activity that you have to make an electric circuit to test whether electricity can pass through an object or not, you have to take some of the materials such as iron rod, sulfur, coal, copper wire, etc. And among these, you will observe iron rod and copper wire are good conductor of heat and electricity. That is, they allow to conduct heat and electricity through it. While sulfur and coal are poor conductor of heat and electricity. Next point is metals do have high melting point. Metals do have high melting point which is their melts after reaching high temperature except gallium, which can even melt in our hand. Now let's talk about chemical properties of metals. Metals react with oxygen to form metallic oxides. Just for example, if you take iron in presence of oxygen and water, it will form a rust, which is Fe2O3, and hydrogen gas will evolve. Next point is metals react with acid to form salts. So friends, have you come across NaCl, which is a common salt? Sodium can react with HCl, which is a hydrogen chloride, which is acid and can form salt, which is NaCl. And the reaction is shown. 2NaCl plus 2HCl gives 2NaCl plus H2. Metals, third point is metals can react with water to form oxide or hydroxides. Example is sodium when react with water H2O gives NaOH, which is a sodium hydroxide, and H2 gas, hydrogen gas is evolved. So we quickly recapitulate. Metals have three chemical properties. First one is metals react with oxygen to form metallic oxides. Second point is metals react with acid to form salts. Third point is metals can react with water to form oxide or hydroxides. And one more thing, note, metals do not react with alkalis. Alkalis are bases that readily dissolve in water, and metals do not react with alkalis. Now let's move on to the non-metals. Non-metals such as plastic, gases, liquids, they are all non-metals, which is found everywhere. Non-metals do not have specific physical state. It can differ from solid to liquid to gases. What are the physical properties of non-metals? Let's see one by one. First one is non-metals are brittle in nature. In metals, I have already discussed they are malleable, which is they can be beaten up to sheets. But in case of non-metals, if it is beaten up with hammer, it breaks down into pieces. Example, if you beat coal with hammer, it will break down into pieces. Second point is non-metals cannot be melted and drawn into wires. If you melt carbon, which is a non-metal, and drawn into wire, it cannot be possible. Non-metals are not sonorous. That means if we heat a non-metals, it will not produce a sound. Next point is all non-metals are bad conductors of heat and electricity. But there is one exception, except graphite. Graphite, which is a form of carbon which is good conductor of heat and electricity, and other non-metals are bad conductors of heat and electricity. All non-metals do not have luster property except diamond, which is another form of carbon, which do have a luster property, but other non-metals do not have this property. Now let's move on to the chemical properties of the non-metals. Non-metals react with oxygen to form non-metallic oxides. Carbon C when react with oxygen O2, which gives CO2, which is carbon dioxide. Non-metals do not react with water. Non-metals do not react with acids. So these are the chemical properties of nonmetals. Now let's talk about the reactivity series of metals. In this reactivity series, you can see that the potassium is placed at the higher position and gold is being placed at the lower position. And the reactivity series of metals is being arranged according to the decreasing order of the chemical reactivity. Now, how you can easily memorize till late this reactivity series? P from potassium, Na from sodium, Ca from calcium, Ma from magnesium, Al from aluminium, Z from zinc, E from iron, Fe so E, S from tin, Sn so S, lead Pb so P, the P na ko magal zip. This is the easy way you can memorize till lead. And then hydrogen, copper, mercury, silver, gold. This is the reactivity order. Now, let's give the explanation of this reactivity series. Reactivity series is an arrangement of metals in decreasing order of their reactivity from highest to lowest. Here, metals which occupy the higher position can displace the metals which lies at the lower position. But the metals which lie at the lower position cannot displace the metals which are placed at the higher position in the reactivity series to form solution of their salts. Just for example, if we take sodium and react with water, it will form sodium hydroxide, which we have already seen in the previous part of this video. Here, sodium which lies at the higher position of the reactivity series can displace the hydrogen from water which lies at the lower part of the reactivity series and form sodium hydroxide, and hydrogen gas is evolved. So, it's clearly understand. Now let's move on to the important questions. First one is, why aluminium is used for wrapping food items? Answer is, aluminium is a metal and hence possesses malleability property, which we have already seen. The properties of in the metals. It can be beaten into thin sheets and can be folded into any shapes. It is cheaper and other malleable than other malleable metals and does not react with food items. That is why we used it for wrapping foods. We usually see it around us. It is used for wrapping food materials for food items. Second question is, what happens when a copper vessel is exposed to moist air for long? When a copper vessel is exposed to moist air for longer period, it acquires a dull green coating. This green material is a mixture of copper hydroxide and copper carbonate. The equation is given below. 2Cu, which is copper, plus water H2O plus carbon dioxide CO2 plus oxygen O2 gives CuOH whole twice, which is copper hydroxide, and CuCO3, which is copper carbonate. So that's all for today. Thank you very much. If you have any doubts and queries, please write in the comment section, and hope to see you in my next video. Till then, bye.